Thank you, Krupa and Manya. Mr. Omar Abdulaziz Al-Nama, the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Education and Higher Education. Mr. Ashok Dhawan, the Deputy Secretary, CBSE. President, Mr. Hassan Chogle. Board of Directors, Mr. Harish Kanjani, Mr. George, Mr. Rocky, the better halves of our Board of members here, and my key functionaries, my HMs, coordinators, my teachers, extremely proud parents, excited indeed, and the little young ones, my beloved little young ones. A very good evening. I think this evening is very historic from the parents' perspective that your children are graduating from the very nice cocooned environment of the kindergarten to a little larger, wider world where they're going to be handled by another new teacher and a lot more learning. But for us as a school, this is a very historic day for us. Historic because two governing bodies of the school and their representatives are with us this evening. Mr. Omar is the Undersecretary at the Ministry of Education, Doha, Qatar, and Mr. Ashok Dhawan is the Deputy Secretary of CBSE. And just to go back to the history of how we met Mr. Omar Abdulaziz Al-Nama this year is we received our QNSA certification, that is our quality certification from him. So I think we are very proud that we were able to satisfy the standards of the state of Qatar where quality is concerned. And that's how, in one of the meetings, when we received the certificate, we received it from him. And very surprisingly, Sir, Mr. Ashok Dhawan is here with us this evening because we were having a CBSE inspection happening. So quality definitely seems to be a big, big priority when a school is established and it runs for many long years. We do not deny the fact that it is a huge challenge to maintain this sort of discipline, this sort of standard, and to be handling 5,660 students under one roof. I feel extremely proud and privileged and extremely humbled too to be standing in front of you, to be representing this large gathering as its leader and as its big mummy. I call myself the most strongest mother because I have so many students under my wings. And we hope that with my team, we are able to do justice to every single child who has been handed over the most precious gift that God has given you. You have handed over that gift to us. And we hope that we are delivering the best. We believe in continual growth. We believe that excellence doesn't happen overnight. It requires to be relooked, reflected, improved on, and so continual development is the key word for us. This evening, you would have seen the young little children and how they started off with the amount of confidence that they display. I think when we say we are a school with a difference, we mean it in every single aspect. You look at our children, you look at our teachers, you look at our management, they are very different from the regular ones that you will find in town. There is a vision, there is a mission for which we are working, and each one of us is striving to reach out those desired goals of excellence amongst all our children. As young parents, I know it's not the right age to be parents because technology has entered your homes. We have no clue what is the flip side of technology. We have allowed it to take over. We have literally decided that technology is going to mother our children. How many of us just give birth to our children and are busy with other activities while our child is busy with a screen? I think it is not the children who are wrong. When I look at the young children, when I started my career, it was maybe 22 years before, and I realized that the challenges then were different from the challenges today. The challenges today are need to have human contact, emotional contact with others, having to be seated with physically in the presence of others, exchange ideas, and yes, respect for diversity and tolerance. I must thank the state of Qatar for allowing us to establish this large school here, running it with large numbers, complying to their standards. Thank you so much, sir, and the state of Qatar for all the support that they give us towards moving or marching towards excellence. My team of teachers do an excellent job, whatever may be the challenge. I strongly believe that teachers do not derive satisfaction from the pay packages. When I say that, I mean every word of it. Our satisfaction is that beautiful smile on the child's face when they walk in the morning. Our satisfaction is when my student, who is an alumni, comes back to me, comes back to the school, to its alma mater and says, "Ma'am, we are proud DIPSites. DPS Modern Indian School is recognized all over the world because our alumni is present in some of the best institutions." Not to mention that we believe in the two ideas. In the recently concluded one event that I attended, there was this panel discussion on whether concepts are important or skills are important. And when the query was raised to me, I just mentioned that if you want to live in the primitive age, you can survive with skills. But you need to understand concepts. You want to progress, you want to grow. And I think our children should be given those concepts along with values. We are nobody if we do not follow universal values. My appeal to all the parents is give quality time to your child. Sit with your child. Try to understand the specific difficulties. Do not force a particular thing on the child, especially academics. If the child is not very good at academics, the world is a very big place. He will find his footing somewhere or the other. Like I often say, one of my students who was extremely weak in her academics is today designing jewelry for Titan under the brand name of Tanishq, and none less than Deepika Padukone is wearing that jewelry and advertising it. Don't you think that this is what we need to do? Identify the talent of the child, allow the child to grow, bloom, and take over the world. Let's together work towards the wonderful value systems. Let our children imbibe them. Let them have the touch, human touch, emotional touch. And as young parents, your job is a very challenging job. You have to decide whether it's the screen time that's important or time with you is important. And let me tell you, all psychologists believe it is the time with the parents and with the teachers that's very important. So at the school, we work very hard. We request all our parents to work very hard with your children to make them understand that there is nothing greater, no bigger investment than investing in human relationships. This year is a very special year for us because it's the cultural exchange year between India and Qatar. And we as a school strongly respect the fact, and I think it's a wonderful beginning that two heads from two different boards have met this evening. And we wish that our parents understand the value of the country that has allowed us to establish schools here, the values that they follow, respect those values, and respect the fact that Qatar is a progressing country, India is a progressing country. Both of us together can make a big difference to the world and let our children be the ambassadors of this change. I would fail in my duty if I didn't thank my school president, Mr. Hassan Chogle, a man who understands leadership in every single aspect of his existence. Every time I look up at Mr. Hassan Chogle, who heads the ABLE EC members, I always look at him as a leader who teaches from what he does. Actions speak louder than words. I have learned risk-taking with him. I have learned a lot of other human relationships with him, and never to come under pressure and never to budge when you are right. If your conscience is right, let the world say whatever. Hold on to it. If your value system is right, hold on to it. Let the world tell what it has to say. At the ending, truth triumphs. Good evening and thank you.